Welcome back to, once again, Dawn of the First Day. Yes, we will be seeing this a lot. You guys have no idea. Actually, y'all should, considering we're halfway through the game and I'm going to be starting off each recording set like so. Alright. So, we gotta go back to Zora's Cave. Because we got shit to do. And I was right about the name of the place. It was Zora's Cave, just that's a teleport place. The insides are called Zora's Hall. I'm still just gonna call it Zora's Cave. Because I like it. Okay, so, as y'all can imagine, we can only do, like all other dungeons, this as a Zora. Oh, bottles. Okay, so let's see here. There we go. Okay. Damn it. There we go. Hate it when my controller is really old and I need to purchase a new one, but I just don't have the money to do so. And so, that giant rock pulls a never-ending story. Anyone here old enough to actually remember that movie? Wow. Such a blast from the past. Good times. Good times. And now for one of my more favorite dungeons in the game. A lot of people do not like the water temples. And really, I don't know why. They're, in my opinion, fairly well designed. Obviously, other people don't see it that way, but I like both the water temple in this game and in Ocarina of Time. And apparently, nobody likes either but me. I mean, granted, in both Ocarina of Time and this game, we're doing a lot of back and forth, and before I even go on to that turtle, I should come over here and get some arrows and bombs, because there's stuff we need to do. Now then, arrows and hookshot equipped. There we go. Now there's actually a glitch you can do with the hook shot. If you aim and hook onto the coconuts, if you do it just right, you'll be floating in mid-air. Obviously I didn't do it right, so that kind of screws things up. What people don't realize is the Gerudo screams are actually the screams from Link whenever he gets hit, falls off of a cliff, that kind of fun stuff, just sped up. So, welcome to the Great Bay Temple. My second favorite area in the game, only topped out by the Stone Tower Temple. It may be a bitch to get to it, but I really love the design of the Stone Tower Temple. Okay, so this is going to be a fun one. We got 4 torches we need to light. Now, I may as well go on and explain how I aim with the bow and arrow, this one anyways. You see where the brown meets the gold? That's about where I'm looking whenever I use the bow and arrow. Doesn't work for everyone, but it works for me. Because really, that's just about where that's just about where it's gonna hit if you aim for there. And so, we get the one stray fairy that almost everybody forgets about. This room, even though it is the entrance, does have a single stray fairy in it. And I've seen a lot of people forget about that and have to come back to get it. Crapples. Gotta do this in a way I don't like to do this, because I forgot that this. Once you have all the fairies captured, it's a lot easier to deal with. Fail. Alright. So we need to leave this active for now and come over to this one. Alright. Now these aren't all that hard to figure out. All you gotta do is just turn it to the direction that you can tell the water isn't flowing in. You can tell which way the water's flowing by the way that the pipe is flowing. You see that there are ripples in the pipe? Yeah, that means the water's flowing that way. If the pipe isn't, or if those things aren't turned the way the water's flowing, then, well, you can't do shit. Now can ya? If you go up there, you can pick up a bunch of rupees. However, I don't feel like it. So I'm just gonna kill it and get my fairy. See? There's the fairy. And then I get knocked all the way back down. That was quite an epic fail, if I do say so myself. Now be careful when... I actually don't even know why I bothered equipping that, just to unequip the other mask. Anyways, be careful in the water temple, because depending on where you jump, especially if you're using the Zora for the most part, you may end up crashing into a lot of things. Huge water wheel. And we don't want to jump down quite yet. Over there, I do believe, are just 2 magic pots. Whoop. No. Okay, so apparently you can't shoot the magic pots. That's useful to know. Yeah, there, as y'all can tell, a lot of fairies to gather. Anyways, that's one of the 2 in here. The other one, everybody, including me, finds it kind of difficult to get. It's in the single pot in the middle that is almost impossible to hit with a melee. But I still got it. Most people actually go through the trouble of hitting it with the boomerang, but that's still pretty difficult to do. Alright, so basic pattern of any dungeon. Always go for the highest rooms first. Not even close. Very well. A little glitch that a lot of people don't know about. Just go on and turn Deku Link. And then you can just hop on across. Now, obviously, whenever you reset to day 1, the dungeon map boss key. Actually, technically, I think the boss key and the I think the boss key is the only thing out of those chests that does reset. Now then, you'd think, since we got onto that platform easily enough as the Deku Link, we'd be able to do the same with this one. Not quite. We are just too short. We need one of the two items in order to get that one. But we do have the one fairy in here, so we're good. Those guys, just pop up your magic shield. I will be leaving this area once I get all 15 fairies, and it's mainly because of the boss in this level. I've always had a lot of trouble with this boss. Not all Water Temple bosses, just this boss. And more specifically, I've always had a lot of trouble fighting it the way it's supposed to be fought. Okay, you just do that, and I'm gonna not jump up there because, hey, obviously I'm not allowed to get the chests that the fairy spawns in. Die, ass wagon. The thud. There we go. If you're standing on top of where a chest spawns, I'm gonna try and show it off, but I may not be able to without repeating a dungeon, and I'm not gonna repeat a dungeon that I've already fully completed. But if you are standing on top of a box when it appears, essentially, you'll in the original port, I'm pretty sure you basically spawned inside the box, but in this port of the game, you just kind of raise up off the ground. Oh god, not this shit again. There we go. Okay. So yeah, compass. Easy enough. Once again, that is one of the areas that you'd think you'd be able to do something in it. In that door up there, you'd think you'd be able to get in it as the Deku Link, but that is not quite true. I know, because I've tried several times. They just don't work, viewers. If you're really good, you may be able to Zora jump into it, but beyond that, you're just not gonna be able to get into there without the one of the two items in this dungeon. Yes, this dungeon and the next one has two items in it. Ah! So close. And, in fact, we're well on our way to getting the second one, or the first one. I just need to find my way. Here we go. Fuck you, Octorok. Fuck you. Oh, fuck you again, Octorok. Hey, Chewie. There we go. I hate walking along these pipes, but you kind of have to. Arrows? And magic? I wonder what we got to deal with in here. Well, go on and get the fire arrows equipped. Because we got the classic look up to the ceiling gag. Now then, even though I do currently have the fire arrows equipped, I'm not going to be using them just yet. Because the easiest way to take care of this first little bit is to just basically get right under him and quick spin the fuck out of him. With the gilded sword, you'll be able to do pretty decent shit. And then just basically take off a bunch of these things as fast as possible. Shouldn't be too terribly hard. Then, rolling around the exterior should be a huge-ass gap somewhere that we can just do stuff. The reason why I have the fire arrows equipped is because it also makes knocking off huge chunks of these things rather easy. As y'all can probably guess, we gotta shoot it while its eye is open. Here's that his bubble shielding is still being a douche. By the way, if y'all have noticed, after you've used a magic arrow, you're not allowed to use magic for a few seconds. Now, pretty well much the safest possible place you can be in this entire arena is in one of the corners. And there we go. First section is done. Wow, that's actually a rarity. Yeah. Come on. There we go. This ass wagon. There we go. Alright. So now, as y'all can probably guess, it's just a simple matter of shoot them a couple more times. With the bow and arrow with fire arrows on it, just 2 more times.